Hello everyone and welcome to the course overview lecture. I would like to welcome you to the course, and in this lecture we're going to quickly cover some frequently asked questions and what you can expect during the course. Even if you've taken other courses by me in the past, please don't skip this lecture. It's really going to help you understand what the course is about and how to get help during the course and topics such as that. So we're going to discuss a few things that will really help you give the best possible course experience. Lectures like this one, these video lectures, can be sped up to your liking up to 2x speed. I usually talk at a pretty slow and deliberate pace, so I would personally, if I was watching this video lecture, probably speed it up a bit to 2x. So feel free to do that whenever you want. And they can also be viewed at higher quality. Sometimes some browsers or some internet connections auto to a lower quality. If you're having trouble with that, you can always just click on the settings icon. It looks like a little gear at the bottom of the video and change it to a higher quality. Alright, let's discuss some course basics. Who is this course for and what does it cover? So this course is really designed for someone with some sort of experience in programming. It doesn't need to specifically be Python or Spark in the past, but you should have experience with some programming language. Preferably Python, but we do have a Python crash course to kind of get you up to speed on that quickly. And this course is for people that are interested in using Spark and Python for analyzing big data. If you're interested in just general data science and machine learning with Python, and you don't really have a need for really large data sets, that is, data sets in bigger than like 32 gigabytes, and you're just interested in basic data analysis, machine learning, visualization with data science, and you're just starting to get into it, check out my other course, Python for Data Science and Machine Learning Bootcamp, and take a look at that curriculum. It might be better suited for you. This course is better suited for people that have already gone through that course, this Python for Data Science and Machine Learning Bootcamp. So I just want to make sure that your expectations are set here on what you're going to experience in this course. So again, this course is ideal for students who enrolled in that previous course or who already have some sort of general knowledge with basic data analysis with Python or maybe some other programming language. It's designed to add Spark and PySpark to your professional resume. So you already have some skills and you want to level up with Spark and PySpark. So what this course is not, we're not going to cover typical Python libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, visualization, scikit-learn. This course is really just for big data that those technologies themselves can't handle. So at a certain point, your data becomes so large that NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, they can't deal with it anymore. You need to move on to something like Spark. So that's what this course is about. Okay, so again, this course is for people looking to build skills in things like PySpark data frames, Spark 2.0, working with very large data sets, and things like Spark specifics. Maybe you've heard of Spark streaming, or an employer is asking for you to learn that. We cover that sort of stuff in this course. Okay, hopefully that gives you an idea of the target audience, but let's discuss a few more things before we get started. We have various installation lectures for different ways of setting up PySpark, but I don't want you to feel obligated to use any of them specifically if you already have your own setup. We're going to be using the Jupyter Notebook system for video lectures, but if you prefer .py files with some sort of IDE like PyCharm or a text editor like Sublime Text Editor, that's also no problem. I've provided the .py files for you to follow along with, so it's totally up to you whether you want to stick to the notebook system or use your own favorite editor. You have the .py files to basically explore any options you want. So speaking of these .py and these notebook files, you can grab the notes as a zip file as a resource in this lecture. So as you're watching throughout the course, you can click on check resources, or you may see a little pop-up saying that there are resources. There'll be a zip file and that contains all the notes. So in the FAQ lecture, the installation overview, and in this specific lecture, you'll see the pop-up for those zip files. It's all the same .zip files. I just put them in several lectures for convenience. So any of those will work. You can just click on whichever one you're currently at or is more convenient to you. The slides shown in the course are also linked to as a resource in their respective lecture. And they're hosted as Google Slides, so you can just visit online to see any updates. So I prefer hosting them as Google Slides versus using a PDF. That way, if there's any changes, I can easily edit them online, and you can get the latest stuff by clicking on that link. Alright, now let's discuss how to get help during the course. So whenever you're working through the course and you get stuck on something or there's an error, you should always double check that your code matches the notes exactly. If you follow the same setup procedure and you're running on the same version of Python and Spark that I am in this video lecture, you should have everything working if your code matches the notes exactly. So definitely double check that that's the case. I would say somewhere around 80% of all errors are just because there was a typo or something didn't quite match up to the notes. You maybe did something in a different order. So definitely double check that your code matches those notes exactly. If you're still having trouble with that, you're pretty sure it matches the notes exactly, maybe you even ran the notes, do a quick check on Stack Overflow for a fast answer. A lot of times, questions have already been answered on that website. Okay, so let's say those two methods, you're still getting those errors, no problem. You can check the course FAQ lecture. Maybe your question's already been answered there. That's the very next lecture. You still can't find it there? Not a problem. Search the Q&A forums of the course to see if someone else has already asked your question. And if you still can't find it, you check the FAQ, you check the notes, everything looks good to you, but you're still having that trouble, again, that's not a problem. All you have to do is post a new question to the Q&A forums if you still can't resolve that issue given the previous methods, and I and the other students are happy to help out. I'm on the forums every day, checking, trying to help out, helping you troubleshoot any errors you may have. So again, the Q&A forums are where you should be focusing your questions after you check the notes and Stack Overflow. All right. Let's quickly cover the course curriculum and what you can expect to learn throughout the entire course. So we're going to cover the following topics. These are big overview topics. We'll start with just Spark and the big data basics, give an overview of what it really is, how it works, etc. Then we'll talk about setting up Spark in various ways. You have basically 4 installation options, and we'll talk about that later on through an installation overview lecture. Then we have a quick Python crash course. And then we have the Python and Spark 2.0 data frame section, where we discuss how to use data frames with the Spark 2.0 syntax and Python. And then we'll also have a PySpark project exercise to kind of wrap up that section. Then the second half of the course really focuses on Spark with machine learning. So you get an introduction to machine learning, what it is, and you also get an introduction to how Spark works with machine learning in particular with its mlib library. And then we'll discuss some particular machine learning topics like linear regression, logistic regression, decision trees and random forests, and then things like gradient boosted trees. And then we're going to continue on to k-means clustering, recommender systems, natural language processing, and then things like Spark streaming, which aren't exactly machine learning, but it is another facet of Spark. And we'll discuss streaming something locally and also doing a project with Twitter, so streaming tweets using Spark. And within all those topics that I just mentioned, those larger sections, we also introduce other things like pipelines or cross-validation. So some of these topics don't really merit their own particular section like pipelines. Instead, we introduce them with other topics. So when we talk about natural language processing, we'll also introduce pipelines, explain what they are, etc. All right, thank you so much for listening to all of that, but it should make your course experience much smoother having known all that information. So one last thing before we continue on, I just want to give you a huge thank you for enrolling in this course. I truly appreciate it, and I'm really going to try my best to make sure you have the best learning experience possible. Okay, let's get started with learning one of the latest technologies, which is Spark with Python. I will see you at the next lecture.